I woke up to a suffocating darkness. My heart raced as I realized I was blindfolded, my hands and feet tightly bound. The ropes dug into my skin, leaving me immobile and terrified. Where am I? How did I get here? I struggled to calm my breathing, but panic gripped me. Then it hit me, today was my wedding day. I was supposed to be in my room, preparing for the happiest moment of my life. Instead, I was trapped in some unknown place. I frantically searched my memory, trying to piece together what had happened. The last thing I remembered was my sister entering my room while I was getting dressed. Her expression was strange, tense and unreadable. She had asked to speak with me privately, but after that, everything went blank. I had no idea how long I had been here. Minutes. Hours. The silence was deafening, broken only by the sound of my own ragged breathing. Suddenly, the door creaked open. My ears picked up the sound of footsteps, 2 pairs. "She's awake," a deep male voice said. "Yeah," another responded. Their voices were cold and unfamiliar. They didn't stay long. The door slammed shut, plunging me back into solitude. I barely had time to process their presence before the door opened again. This time, someone walked in and came directly toward me. A rough hand tugged at my blindfold, and light flooded my eyes. I blinked rapidly, trying to adjust, and found myself in a dimly lit room with peeling walls and no windows. My attention snapped to the man in front of me. His face was obscured by a hood, but his piercing eyes met mine with an intensity that made my skin crawl. He knelt and untied the ropes around my wrists and ankles, but before I could move, I erupted in a frenzy of questions. "Why have you kidnapped me? What am I doing here? Today is my wedding day. My parents and fiancé must be looking for me." I spat out the words, desperation lacing my voice. But he didn't answer. Instead, he handed me a plate of food and gestured for me to eat. "Eat," he said simply, his tone firm but strangely calm. I recognized the voice, it was the second man from earlier. "Why should I trust you?" I snapped. "Tell me what's going on. Who are you? What do you want from me?" His expression didn't change. "Your questions will be answered soon. Eat first." He pulled up a chair and sat across from me, his eyes never leaving mine. He wasn't going to leave until I complied, and I knew it. My stomach churned not from hunger, but from fear. My mind raced with 1,000 possibilities. Was this a random act of cruelty? A ransom situation? Or something far more personal? Then a thought struck me like a bolt of lightning. Could my sister be behind this? The last memory of her flashed through my mind. The way she looked at me, the cold undertone in her voice, it hadn't felt right. Over the years, I had noticed her resentment simmering beneath the surface, though she always masked it with a smile. Could she have finally acted on it? Before I could dwell on it further, the door opened again. My blood ran cold when I saw who walked in. It was my sister. "Hello, dear sister," she said, her voice dripping with mockery. I stared at her, my heart sinking. You did this?" She smirked, her expression dark and twisted. "Why? Because I am done being your shadow. You always get everything: love, attention, success. And now, you were about to marry the man I have loved for years. Did you really think I would let you have him too?" Her words hit me like a slap to the face. I was speechless, staring at her in disbelief. "You won't marry him," she continued coldly. "I will make sure of that." Her betrayal was a knife to my heart, and as the weight of her words sank in, I realized this nightmare was only beginning. To uncover the truth and what happens next, like and subscribe to my channel for part 2. The twists are far from over.